大家好，我是 Rocky 老师和朋友 and welcome so much to another exciting episode of Learn Chinese with Rocky. Today we have just so much to learn. Okay, now this is video number 2. This is the very beginning of our video number 2. In our first video, we learned this character. Let me see. We learned the character k, and we also learned the character k. And today we're going to be learning the two more characters in the series, where we're going to be learning k, and we're also going to be learning k. Now you may notice that they're both of these characters are fourth tone characters, meaning that they're falling tones. Okay. Now, if you have not, I want you to join me and for part 1, where you can review and you can learn about these first two characters. Okay. One of the reasons I even made this video is because if you notice, all of these characters have one thing in common, and it can be easily confusing. This is why Chinese is confusing and it's so difficult for so many. Even for the locals, when they talk to each other, they need to listen to each other, and sometimes they actually have problems with each other because they don't know and they can't recognize what tone the individual just said something. So this is spelled K-E, 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 but they're pronounced differently. This is K, right? K. And then this is K. Well, I think you guys know that. But what's so confusing is these final two characters that are, like I said, they're pronounced as the same way. K, and they're falling tones. This is the fourth tone. So I want to take out the mystery, and I want to give you a holistic learning about the Chinese characters and the Chinese language, because I want you to truly understand the Chinese characters. Well, there's so much to do, and I know that you already have learned this first two, and now let's proceed to learning these next two. The first character is k, which means it's a visitor or a guest. Now, I really couldn't come up with a sentence, so I just came up with somewhat of a hokey sentence. Even I have to admit, and it says, Rocky is our guest of honor. Well, actually, I am a guest of honor, and I'm very grateful to the many people that invite me to different places. And frequently, actually, I am truly a guest of honor, and I should be humbled by that, and I am. But anyway, let's get on with the lesson. Enough of me. Let's get on with the lesson, because these lessons are for you, not for me. Okay, so the sentence is, Rocky is our guest of honor. Rocky 我们的荣誉客人. Once again, 政府 Rocky 我们的荣誉客人. 政府3块钱. Rocky 我们的荣誉客人. Okay, now I want to talk to you a little bit about these two characters that are used in combination. You might notice that this character, the last one, is a character of what? It's a character of people, right? So this means people. It also means a person, and sometimes it may even be used to say a man. He was a man, or it's a woman, but it's usually a man. Okay, so the correct way would be, when you talk about a guest, would be Karen. He was a guest person, or he was a guest man. Okay. That's who I was. Now let's get on to something that I know that you could probably, and you will be using. Okay, you will be seeing these two sentences. You will be using these two departments if you do, or when you do business in China. The first one, and our first character means visitor, guest, but it also means customer. Okay, it's very, very importante that this character is ke, and it means customer, because who in our business, who is important? The customer. The customer is more important. In fact, to me, the customer is more important than even Rocky. Okay, my customers are very, very important. So let's look at this particular sign of the customer service department, and let's pronounce it. Okay, ready? san. Kahu fu bu. Kahu fu bu. Once again, Chengfu san kuai dian. Kahu fu bu. Our next sign, our next title that we'll be looking at is the customer service representative. You ready? san. Kahu fu dai biao. Repeat, 重复. Kahu fu dai biao. 重复3块点. Kahu fu dai biao. All right, very good. Now, I want you to look at something that I used. I want you to look at these. It's gonna kind of make it a little different here. I want you to look at this particular character, the k character, and the wu character. All right. Now let's take a look at these two characters, because I want to give you some in-depth analysis, and I want to compare and contrast these two characters. Now the first character, ke. The first character looks like this, right? Its stroke is 1, 2, 3. 3 strokes. This first part is a cap, or it's a cap or a hat. A very beautiful cap and very beautiful hat. This next part of the character is 1, 2, 3. That is the body. That is the body of an individual. It means individual or individual body, right? So you have a person who's wearing a cap and a body. And the third part of this character is it would be ku. Ku character is 1, 2, 3. It's actually 3 strokes. I'm sorry, I didn't count them out. And this means speaking, or it means mouth, and it also means communication, right? This last character. So you have 1, 2, 3 character combinations to make up this one k character. And certainly someone who is a visitor will, of course, be wearing, bring it up over here, he'll be wearing a cap. Certainly this person will be very important, standing out, and you want to get to know him. He'll become familiar to him. And what do you want to do with the last thing you want to do with this character? Well, you certainly want to communicate with him, right? Because he would be a customer. Now let's look at the next character. The next character is Wu, and he looks like this: 1, 2, 3. Well, that's an individual or a person, right? The same thing, an individual or a person. The second part to this is, and I think this is so interesting, is like the way. It's pronounced way, but that actually is a farm tool. Okay, that is okay. So here's the first part, right? Here's the first part, which is the body or individual. But the second part is a farm tool, more like a shovel. So what does this mean? It means that this individual, he's an individual worker, and here's his farm tool. So he's a worker, he's a laborer, and more than likely he's going to be doing some service, okay, or providing a service of some type. So he's Wu. So this is the difference between this character. I'm going to have to make it all dirty now. Between this character Ke and this character Wu. But they almost look very similar. They look very, very similar. but they mean so much different. They have such a different definition and use. But I really do love these characters, especially that Wu character. Doesn't the Wu character looks like he's like busy and he's gonna be leaving? And I'm sorry, but I need to go bust another table. Bye bye. This next sentence, or this next character, is the character ke, right? And that means to overcome or to give some extra effort. And I think the best one to lead us in this sentence would be Martin Luther King himself, all right? And what did Martin Luther King say? He said, "We shall overcome," right? So now let's say that in Chinese. 我们将克服. Repeat, 征服. 我们将克服. 征服三快点. 我们将克服. All right, very good. Because we shall overcome. And I believe that we can overcome. Now, I want to give you some more in-depth analysis, especially about this particular character, and analyze the character, right? I want to give you some character analysis. Now, to begin with, the very top of this character, it looks like a cross, but it's actually, looking at it, I'm gonna have to draw it again here. It's really like a lock. It's a lock, like a pressure lock, and then this down here would be like a pot or a pan, right? It's a pot or a pan. And since I'm doing different colors, I'll have to, right, now this goes up. And here's the third part. But basically right here is what I want to talk to you about, because this is more like a lock. And what happens is that if you were to lock something, you have to turn it and turn it and turn it and turn it, and you lock it down, right? You lock it down and seal it. And that's what this is. That's what that is, okay? It means lock, or it actually means a top honor. Okay, that looks like a T, it means a top honor, and it also means effort. So if you give me some extra effort and you really, really tighten up those loose ends, I believe that you can overcome your language learning. In fact, you can overcome anything that you want to. I really do believe that. Now, another very famous person said, in fact, his name is right here, Rocky Graciano. Hey, that sounds like me. He said, "You shall overcome." And Rocky Graciano said, "Ni jiang kefu." Ni jiang kefu. Okay? Ni jiang kefu. That's what I want you to do. With a little bit of effort, tightening up the belt, so to speak. Tightening up with doing what you need to do. I know that things that you can overcome. You can overcome your problems and your difficulties. I want you to do that. That concludes part 2. Don't forget to go to part 1 and learn about these. But that concludes our second part. And I want to thank you so much for joining me, time after time, and putting up with, I'm not a really funny joke, but at least you put up with me. And I want to thank you sincerely for listening to me. And join me next time for another exciting episode of Learn Chinese with Rocky. 再见